Good morning, folks, and welcome to your Rangers Review morning briefing on Wednesday, the 11th of February. It is match day. We are a couple of seconds early because I note from comments from previous months that people always complain that we're late. So me and Stevie set up, we're good to go. So we came to you live at 9:29 just to get things off and running. Stevie, how's things? How are we?
All right. Thank you, Chris. I hope everybody is well. Match day, it's a very big match day, but currently struggling for a match day ticket, Chris, as you well know. So, I am in a state of anxiety given that sad news. So, I'm hoping for a good news phone call at some point, but as long as Rangers win, that's all that matters, because today is a very big day.
Well, there is our appeal to the nation this morning. If you woke up this morning and you don't feel well, if the kids aren't well and you can't make it, if there's someone on your supporters bus who's got a spare, send Steve a message on one of his many social media platforms, and he'll get back to you. He'll happily meet you at Fir Park. He might even buy you a pie. You can't say fair on that. Okay, he won't, but. The offer was there. Before we get into it and also discuss the match tonight, also have to do our housekeeping. That is, give a shout out to our sponsors at Willows Fencing. All the details for them are in the link below. And the weather is not the kindest these days. So if your garden fence has been blown about a bit like mine has over the last couple of weeks, Willows Fencing are the people to go to. So give them a shout for all your garden requirements as we head into the summer. Stevie, we may as well start on matters last night before we get into tonight. Hearts obviously edging the Edinburgh Derby. Safe to say it wasn't a classic. Does it have any bearing on Rangers at all? I was up at the training ground yesterday morning for the press conference. Manager was asked about it. He said he wouldn't be watching. Said he's not that fussed, and that wasn't his exact phrase, but you could tell it's very much a focus on what Rangers do. Is that the stance for you? It doesn't really make a whole lot of difference right now, because if Rangers take care of their own business, then they've got a good chance of this being a successful season.
I mean, I said on Monday the only team that could stop Rangers was Rangers, and I still believe that. Would have been nice if they had dropped points and keep the momentum going and things. Then yes, it would absolutely have been good, but they didn't, and Rangers just need to take care of themselves. So, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really change anything at all. And, Rangers' job this week was to get 6 points. It's still Rangers' job this week to get 6 points, and nothing changes. It's make or break in terms of making sure that we're not out of this race in this week and make sure that we're very much in it. So nothing's really changed for us. I think it does show that a lot of Hearts games recently have been really close. So, it's getting to that point in the season where I don't think you'll see too many games that aren't really close and aren't nip and tuck and stuff. So we've just got to concentrate on ourselves. That's all we can do, Chris. And the job tonight never changed, regardless of what the score was last night. We need to go to Fir Park and win. They're a good side, but so are we. So let's go and prove that.
A comment from Jim, speaking about finding out if this side have the bottle for this title fight or not, feeds in, I think, to something that the manager said yesterday, when he said a couple of weeks ago we were maybe a little bit too respectful, too fearful, too scared for such a game. Now we're looking forward, but it's about performance on the pitch. I can speak a lot about where we are at the moment, but we have to deliver again and again. And if we do this, we have a great opportunity to make the next small step on our journey. I think that's a really fair point from him. That I think we did a talking point 2-3 months ago, speaking about the squad and are they good enough? Do they have what it takes technically and tactically? But do they have what it takes mentally as well? The manager referenced the Aberdeen game as a big one in that regard, and going up to Pittodrie and coming away with a good victory. Obviously, you had the Aberdeen game, Ibrox, that was one as well. Slowly but surely they are ticking these games off, and they are showing that they do have the mental fortitude for it. This feels like perhaps the biggest test outside Oslo Hearts or Celtic. you look at Motherwell, the form they're in, certainly their form at Fir Park, it's really, really impressive. If Rangers can come through tonight, that would be a big step forward in the eyes of a lot of the fans, I think.
Yeah, because it's a different kind of pressure now when you're 14, 11, 9, whatever it was at times this season, points behind. There's no pressure on you to chase. As such, as the pressure doubles now when, it's all back in your hands again and you have to be the ones that go and hunt, as Danny Rowe would say. So I think it's a different type of pressure, Chris. And there's three stages really. It's, the chase, the immediate, hunt as such, and then leading. There's three different stages in there. We're in the second one at the moment. By the end of the week, we could be in the first one. So how eagerly do these players want it? How much do they have the bottle? We'll find out. And Hibs after Easter Road was a really big disappointment, but they have shown, as you said in previous games, Celtic, Aberdeen twice, that they can go and win these games. I think tonight's vital as much as people might see this as being, a lot of people have talked about when Hearts' bubble will burst. A lot of people not on our side might say, well, when will Rangers' bubble burst? And they might look at these two games and think this will be when. So it's up to us to prove that we're not going to do that. And it's up to us to go and prove that we can go and get that 3 points.
A question here from Stephen saying, is a draw the end of the world tonight or is it a must-win? I think in isolation, it's quite hard to tell. I think you could only really answer that one post-match on Sunday. I think if you get a point tonight and you beat Hearts on Sunday, then that's a fairly successful week. If you get a point tonight and you don't beat Hearts, a different slant on it. Where do you stand on that one? Is it a must-win for Rangers tonight, or do you take a point at a difficult venue? I think the guys were speaking ahead of the presser yesterday. The last time Motherwell conceded a goal at Fir Park, Danny Rowe was not Rangers manager, and that's quite a run to be on. So how do you assess the must-winness, if you like, of this game tonight?
Yeah, it's a must-win. Of course it is. If we draw and then beat Hearts, effectively, it's 5 points. And there's, we can keep saying Hearts this, Hearts that, etc. But then we've only got to play Hearts once. And the games are beginning to run out in that fashion. So every game's a must-win. We're not going to win every game. I understand that, because that would be phenomenal if we did. But we're not going to do it. And there's going to be slip-ups here and there. On the back of a draw at Easter Road, to go and draw tonight, I don't think would be the desired outcome. You said it would be a successful week to take 4 points out of 6. I don't think that's a successful week for me. A successful week, 6 out of 6. An okay week is 4 out of 6. So, we've got to go and put demands on ourselves. We've just scored 13 goals in 2 games. Confidence should be high. New players have come in. They're looking good. They're looking like they play the part. So let's go and win the game. We talk about Motherwell, we talk about their defensive record, we talk about how well they play out of respect, but they're not Barcelona. So, with all due respect, we're not going to the Emirates to play Arsenal, we're going to Fir Park to play Motherwell. So, Motherwell are the 4th best team in the country. Let's go and win the game. Let's go and prove to people and prove to ourselves and prove to the support that we're in this, and let's go and get a job done.
A couple of comments there. Rogue Gers says he wants 3 points. Mace says it is a must-win. And Baron Loyal says Motherwell is must-win. Hearts is must-not lose. One of the other comments that came in earlier on was talking about the team selection for tonight and whether it's Ryan Nadiri up front on his own or if it's him and Shamiti. Manager confirmed yesterday at the presser that Manny Fernandez and Yusuf Shamiti are available again. Max Aarons misses out. 2 good bits of news on the injury front there. I think Rangers are certainly stronger with Fernandez in the side. Chermite, time will tell. How do you line up that forward line tonight? Do you start Nadiri on his own? Do you try and find him a partner? Do you go back to the 4-2-3-1 and you have Mikey Moore in behind him? What's your preference? What do you think the best way of winning this game is?
Yusuf Chermite is not anywhere near the first team starting lineup for me. As much as he's done well, he still lacks a lot for me in the striking department. I've said it time and time again. He doesn't score enough goals. He doesn't make attacking runs. He can hold it up. He can link people in, but he doesn't add any pace. He doesn't add any drive towards the goal. Most of his stuff is done 30 yards from goal, and I don't need that. So he doesn't start for me. I'm sorry. I think if it wasn't for the 2 goals at Celtic Park, a lot of people would still be criticising Yusuf Chermiti and where he is in his performance. I think he's got a lot to do, and I just wouldn't put him in a game like tonight. He's going to play a part, and he's capable of playing a part. But I also don't think he's not as bad as what people say he is. He's also not as good as what people say he is. I think he's somewhere Middleton, and we don't need that at this moment in time. Ryan Naderi, for me, in 90 minutes, has shown more striking ability than anybody else this season so far for Rangers combined. Bojan Majowski's maybe coming into it a wee bit more, and he will score goals if you give him opportunities. But again, he's not as urgent, he's not as clinical, he's not as natural as what Ryan Naderi has looked in 90 minutes. So as far as I'm concerned, Chris, Ryan Naderi is my number 9 going forward. He scored 2 on Sunday, and he could have had another 3. So I'm quite happy with him. He's an all different type of player as well, Chris. He makes runs to the front post, he makes runs to the back, he's good in the air. He's got that natural kind of ability to pop into places you want him to be. So the immediate look on Ryan Naderi is that he's going to be a very good player. And I said instantly during the week when he came on against Kilmarnock, this boy's going to be good. He's got a certain look about him. He plays on the 9 position, where it's as in on the last striker. None of our other players do that. Chermiti falls back, Majowski falls back. He's a natural leading striker. He presses well, he tackles, he gets himself about. He's a must start, and we look more vibrant with him up front. We look more urgent. We look like we've actually got a target. And remember, how many times has Majowski and Chermiti played and there's nobody in the box? So look at Easter Road with that chance and everything else. Where's Ryan Naderi going to be when that ball's waiting to go across from Nadim Bayrami and the still shots and nobody being in the box? I can guarantee you Ryan Naderi's in there. So yeah, he's everything for me, Chris. Starts straight away. We look a better team with him up front, and others in the team as well, which I would go ahead and select as well from the new boys. So in fact, all 4 new players would play for me tonight. 2 Romans, I think, have been excellent shown so far. Tochi Chukwuani is getting better and better. I thought he was great on Sunday. Context given the team, yes. And Skov Olsen, naturally very good player on the right, who's quietly getting better every game as well. So all 4 of them start for me tonight, Chris. And you know, as much as Motherwell are a good side and everything else, they do play out from the back. They do take risks. I want Rangers to go and press that high. Mikey Moore would start in the 10 for me. Ollie Antman starts left, and Skov Olsen starts on the right. Naderi obviously up front, but Jerry Gisama doesn't play for me either. As much as I like him, he's played a lot of football this year. He is a wee bit passive at times, which I don't like. Look at the front line against Kilmarnock to the front line that ended. Look at how urgent they were on Sunday. I'd go again. Ollie Antman's got the shirt for me, so let him go and play on the left-hand side. He's looked really dangerous. He looks like he does link up with 2 Romans as well. Go and play that. Go and win this game tonight. Don't go out in fear of waiting for Motherwell and seeing what they're going to be like and tentatively. Go and take it to them straight away. We've scored 13 goals in the last 2 games. We're the ones that are flying. Let's go and have a right good go and press Motherwell high. They're going to pass it about. Press them high. Go and have a good pop at it and see where it takes us.
Interesting that you mentioned Mikey Moore there. That's a point I was going to come on to. We've got predicted lineups on the website this morning. Myself, Josh, and Blair. So Josh has gone Naderi, Olsen, and Moore off the left. Blair has gone with Chermiti and Naderi, and then Moore and Skov Olsen. And I've gone with Naderi, Moore just off him, Antman and Skov Olsen, like yourself. For me, Moore is better, not playing wide left, maybe playing from the left, but with that ability to pick up different areas in the 10 position. I don't think he offers as much playing him as a winger as such. And Ant-Man, I know he's had a bit of time out the team. It's not been a great start to the season for him, or a great season so far for him. But I liked what I saw last couple of times we've seen him in action. What is it about Ant-Man and Moore and Skov Olsen that you see as the better, as like a best way to go about it, rather than having, say, Moore off the left, Olsen off one side, or having Shamiti in the Deary? Why would you have Ant-Man in there?
Because I feel like he's more urgent. I feel like he's more how would I put this? I feel like he's shown more drive in the last couple of games, where Gassama's looked a little bit jaded. He's looked a wee bit. And I'm with you on Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore against Kilmarnock with Ant-Man and Romans caused a really good overload on that left-hand side. So, and that gives Moore the ability to float about and pick the ball up. He can also drop in and help midfield and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely for starting Ollie Ant-Man. I really am. I just think that we need pace, we need drive, we need that kind of urgency. That I think, like, that kind of last week. If you look at it last week, right, of the four that started, we had Miovski up front, we had Asgard in behind, we had Gassama on the right and Moore on the left. Mikey Moore against Kilmarnock was the only one that showed up in the first half. He was urgent. He was trying to run at players. Gassama wasn't. Gassama was lethargic. Asgard was off it. And Miovski barely touched the ball. Now, that was against 10 men, Chris, against Kilmarnock, against 10 men. We weren't urgent enough. We didn't have the drive. We didn't have the attacking kind of presence that I wanted. When he changed it, when these players come off, when he switched it around, we became that team. On Sunday with those players, we became that team. So I'm genuinely, would he play Miovski in 10 and stuff like that up with him? I'm not entirely against. I'll trust Danny to do what he thinks. But you need to have that urgency. You need to have that will to drive on. You need to have that that kind of frantic but controlled nature in your attack, where when you get it, where like things can happen here. See, when the ball's going to Asgard and stuff like that, and there's 5, 6, 7 touches, it doesn't work. And it slows everything down, and then Miovski can't get in the game, and then we're taking too long. That's the way I see it. It's too passive at times. That's probably the best way to describe it. When I look at how we played on the closing of last week and at the weekend, it's much more urgent. There's much more direction there. There's much more will to score goals. And that's what I'd want to see tonight. And that's why I would go with him up front. And as I said, Yusuf Chamiti for me doesn't feature from the start. Is a definite non-starter.
Point here from Nicky saying that if we want Ant-Man to start, which we both do, who are you dropping of the midfield three to play Mikey Moore? And he feeds into a comment that James made about having to win the midfield battle, and another one here about stacking the midfield. Again, in Josh's selection, he's gone with Trikwani, Raskin and Diomande, itself and Blair, also with an extra attacker in our sides. We've both gone for Trikwani and Nico Raskin. I think it's probably a wee bit harsh on Diomande. I think he's been okay of late. I thought at the start of the season he was nowhere near it, but I think of late he has been better. But you mentioned all four of the new signings have to start there. Trikwani for me has to be in there, and it feels more of a Nico Raskin game than it does a Mohamed Diomande game for me. If you're going with two, is that your two?
Yeah, Nico always plays in my team, you know that, Chris. So it would be Nico and Tochi in midfield. But I'm with you, Mohamed Diomande is very unlucky. But then Mohamed Diomande is capable of coming home and coming on and changing games, as we know. So he's a very good sub to have in that position. Chukwani, maybe we don't know if he can do that or not. Nico Raskin off the bench has never really been tried. Mohamed Diomande almost by default, and we know that he's a good sub. We know that he can change his games, probably drops in like that because of his position. So, that does feel bad to take him out. as much as it probably feels bad to take Jaden McHome out because he's played really well, Roman still starts, and so does Chukwani. So it's a strong position to be in, to have Diamande, to have Mike Homa on the bench and stuff like that. So, yeah, difficult one. I do feel bad for Mohamed Diamande if I was to pick the 11 tonight, but he wouldn't be in it.
Like the Bluebells or Blue makes a point that Dio looks a different prospect next to Chukwani. I think that's right. I think you can see that they have obviously played together earlier on in their careers. I think there's a bit of understanding there. Two of them have operated well. And Day in the Life says Dio starts with Raskin for him. I would be really surprised if Chukwani doesn't get the nod. What's impressed you about him so far? I think you have to bear in mind the opposition that he's played. This will be the biggest match that Rangers have played since he signed. It's going to be the biggest test. But I think he gets about the park really well. He sniffs out danger really well. He doesn't look flustered when he's on the ball. I think he showed at the weekend that he can advance and he can get into dangerous positions. I thought he took his goal really well. It was a nice move that from Rangers, and he finished it well just for the edge of the area. What's impressed you about Chukwani so far, and why do you think he's one of the kind of first names that I think the manager will have on that team sheet tonight?
I think his ball ability to win the ball, win second duels, to snuff out danger, like you said. I think it's just that. He's very athletic. Do you know who he reminds me of in a very strange way? Morris Edu. He's quite mobile, like Morris Edu used to be. I think he's maybe more physical and more of a presence slightly than Morris Edu, because Morris Edu was quite slight build, but very athletic. He's got a bit more to him. He's a bit more broader and things like that, Chukwani, I think. But he does remind me of the athleticism of Morris Edu. So I think in terms of a game where you're going to need to close down a lot, where you're going to need to shuffle about a lot, where you're going to need to do a lot of work, I think that Chukwani would be in starting the next couple of games for me. We paid a lot of money for this boy, by the way. He almost went under the radar at 4.5 million, like it was just fun coupons for Andrew Kavanagh, which most likely it is, but it was a lot of money for a midfielder like that. We paid 4.5 million for a certain Paul Gascoigne that we paid the exact same for this boy. Different worlds apart, granted, but it's a lot of money for Rangers. So, in a game like tonight, he's got to play for me. And he plays because of his energy, his drive, his ball winning. He plays because of all that. So, yeah, I'm more than happy to start him tonight. And he proved as well. He scored a good goal at the weekend. And also, as well, Chris, he's a threat from set pieces as well, again. And we're building a team that's got a different dynamic to it. You suddenly look at that team at the weekend, when you've got Naderi, when you've got Chukwani in there, when you've got Giga, you've got big players in there again. Tonight, you could have Fernandez, Suter, Chukwani in there, Naderi in there. Skov Olsen's not small. This is a different kind of team now. There's more targets in there. So Chukwani plays for me. And because of his energy, because of his ball carrying, because of his ability to win the second ball, that's why he's in my team.
We spoke earlier on about mentality of this group and them. As they win these matches, they perhaps can ease some of the fears that the fans have over, can they hack it? Do they have what it takes? Where do you stand on the manager in that same regard? One of the points that we asked about him, or asked of him yesterday at that press conference, was his previous title races with Bayern Munich. Now, clearly a very different situation. You go to Munich, huge favourites. They won those leagues fairly comfortably. This is a different situation, but he spoke a wee bit about that and how the experience at Munich helped him a lot, about how you win games, how you're always hungry after one win for the next one. He said it starts in the training. Every small side game you should win in the training as a group, because it gives exactly this culture, a winning culture, and this is what I learned from my time in Munich. Do you think he has really started to build that winning mentality and that winning culture at this club? Something that wasn't there at the start of the season. Out of all the the points that you could put against Rangers having enough to go and win the title, being behind in the standings as it is, having a difficult run of games, post-split fixtures. For me, the manager is a big plus point that you can say really cool, really calm, really collected, gets it, understands it, has been really impressive so far. I don't have any fears about how Danny Rule is going to handle this title running.
Yeah, you're asking me, Chris, and you've seen how big a fan I am of Danny Rule. I think he's got an elite mentality. Something somebody said to me the other day was quite true, that German teams' efficiency, and you've seen them in the Euros and World Cups and all that, they always tend to peak right at the very right time.
Mhm.
And they can be slow starters, they can get wins, they can just be progressing along, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about Germany and how they come on. I think he's got that mentality. I would absolutely love to think that Rangers are about to hit that peak run of form in terms of performances and results, because we've seen results, Chris, and we've maybe been sitting going, well, that's because of set pieces or that's because of certain moments. We've not seen a team that can dominate the final third quite yet. We saw it for half an hour against Kilmarnock. We saw it for 90 minutes against Queen's Park. No disrespect to them, context, cup game, lower league, etc. Are we about to hit that form? Are the signings really about to pay off? Is Ryan Nadiri, that was a signing that he knew, that he pushed for, that all his contacts in Germany. Is Danny Rule about to really kick on from, that level to way up here and help Rangers win a title? I think he can. And we're about to find out the next couple of games. So we've never really had this in recent times where when the going gets tough and we're at sliding door moments, Rangers peak and really kick on. And the reason we've not had it is because we've not won anything.
Mhm.
In that year with Steven Gerrard being the one, kind of push that to the side. Under Clement, when we had the opportunity, we fell against Motherwell and dramatically fell away. Gio, we didn't manage to beat Celtic, falling away. Those times that we've been close, those moments where we've had the opportunities, we've never grasped them. This is on now to see if Danny Rule can do that. Wouldn't it just be wonderful from a Rangers point of view if we could actually go and peak, bang on the right time, go into these couple of games, get 6 points, and then go, aye, by the way, this is Rangers. We're not playing. We're here. And you're going to have to catch us, not the other way about. We're hunting. Now we're not hunting you. We're hunting shiny things, and we're coming to get you. I would love that to happen. Tonight's the ideal opportunity to do it. I think Danny Rule's got an elite attitude, efficient. He's a winner. He says all the right things. We've achieved nothing yet. Absolutely spot on for me, Danny. Absolutely spot on. The only time we'll achieve something, Chris, and the only time we really achieve anything at Rangers Football Club is when we're lifting things, because that's the way the football club should be, and that's been lost. Now that we're getting back to places where to challenge is fantastic, and we love talking about it, and it feels good. Where we ultimately should be, we're still a few steps away from that. So let's keep driving, kicking on, and Danny Rule for me is a guy to do that.
Couple of predictions before we go, and before I get yours. John here says 3-0. He's confident about a good Rangers win tonight, and so is Pedro here. He's going for 4-1. I think Rangers will win tonight. I don't know if it'll be as comfortable as 4-1. I'll maybe go 2-1, and a slightly tighter game, but I think Rangers do have enough. Just before we finish, Stevie, give us a score prediction, and will Rangers be top of the league come Sunday night?
I would once again say that I would like to be there this evening. Currently looking for a ticket. Would like to travel. So if anyone can help me, please get in contact, because I don't have press access. Motherwell don't let us, and I would really like to go. Rangers will win tonight. Rangers will win on Sunday, and Rangers will be top of the league on Sunday evening.
If that's what I know.
Ryan Nadiri will score 3 goals over the next couple of games. Scott Volson will score. Mikey Moore will score. So there's going to be goals. I'm not saying we're going to hammer teams. Maybe a 3-1 tonight. Maybe the same on Sunday. But Rangers will triumph in both games. And this is where, over the next couple of games, I certainly hope that Rangers take it to the fore. I would really love that to happen. So we're capable. I believe in this team. I think everybody's starting to believe in this team. I certainly believe in Danny Rule. So let's go and do it.
If that bout of optimism from Stevie is not enough to convince you to give up your ticket for tonight and give it to that man there, I don't know what will. Stevie, I wish you all the best in your endeavours to get a ticket for this evening. Myself, Josh, and Blair will be there later on. Hopefully, we'll be able to text you later and get the view from inside the away end. So enjoy your working day and best of luck for your ticket hunt for tonight.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, mate. And good luck to Rangers manager and the team. Everything for tonight. Let's go and do it.